Alright, so I haven't recorded a video of top 5 champions of anything for quite a while. So what would be the 5 champions that I would delete off Paladins if I had the power for it? Now, bear in mind that this is obviously a personal opinion. It does not mean that I have that power or I will ever have that power, or maybe, you know, maybe it's a thing of the moment and right now I feel like these are the 5 champions I would delete of Paladins. And maybe like in next month it would be a completely different thing. And obviously, like I said, it's a personal thing, so it's my personal choice or, you know, feeling that I would delete these 5 champions. Now, however, before we go into the top 5, they're top 5, but not the order itself is not specific. Like, I don't have one that I would hate the most. But you know, but those are the top 5 plays after champions after all the different champions we have in this game. Out of all of them, these are the ones at top, like the 5 ones at top that I would definitely just erase from existence of Paladins. All right, and I want to know what your top 5 is as well, so make sure you go down the comments below and you let me know. So let's get into it, shall we, folks? So starting off our list with a fan favorite, Mr. Dredge. And actually Dredge I have a specific reason for Dredge. You might think, oh, he's just spammy and such. Now, not only is he spammy, but he's very strong, and I was confirmed a while ago by a developer who's no longer at Hi-Res, by the way, but by a developer, the Dredge was just created, but people in the developing team didn't really like him, so they tried to just, you know, like, yeah, just release it and that's it and move along. So much so that you can see that his lore doesn't show much. Like, he doesn't show up almost on the new lore or whatever. I guess you know, they try to put him in showing up in the docks with cannons or whatever. I don't know. Whatever they thought of it. And he immediately got his ass kicked after collecting the warders, you know, gauntlets. Immediately just got his ass kicked. But not only they didn't really like him and didn't really pay much attention to him, but when he came out, he was absolutely busted, mind you, because he had cards that would allow him to reload and so on. And right now he's still a thing that it's pretty annoying. I mean, his broadside is disgusting. You might not know this, but broadside actually apply cauterize and wrecker. So if you want to destroy shields, just spam some broadside on point. Then you have a talent that allows you to infinitely have Cassie shots that pierce, right? Their harpoon, plus their pinpoint accurate, and now you actually have no midair inaccuracy, so you can just snipe from the sky. Then we also have Scuttle, which you just get as much as Death Hands as possible and spam everywhere, right? There's just bombs raining from everywhere, and the only thing we can do is either look at them directly when they're falling, or if they're close enough, just make sure you have like havens or whatever. So that's pretty annoying. And then we also have the Abyssal Spike talent, which you toss that harpoon, which by the way pierces through people and can actually double stack heal more than one time, depending on how many people you actually pierce and how many people got hit by the explosion after. That harpoon cannot be destroyed. That's the same situation as, for example, Betty's little roulette thingy, hail of bombs or whatever. It cannot be destroyed. And it's something that should be please destructible, right? Like, we could destroy it because it's heck annoying. Plus, you know, his portal allows him to clear all bunch of different things. A good strategy with Dredge can be the most disgusting thing ever, having portals in places that we just would never even imagine. We can't destroy his portals, so that's a funny thing. But you know, like, all in all, Dredge is Dredge, and he's absolutely disgusting, and all this guy does is spam and AoE everywhere. On to my second pick, which is almost inside of the same genre, Betty. I'm gonna be honest. Betty's existence in the lore is fantastic, but her existing in the games is absolutely disgusting. I hate this champion with a passion. Now, I play it Don't get me wrong. I mean, you know, sometimes in order to win a battle, you have to join, you know, certain movements, unfortunately. So yeah, sometimes I will play Betty, but I absolutely despise this champion. I mean, I don't care if she looks good, if people call her mommy, whatever. I don't really care. This champion is even more spammy almost than Dredge when it comes to her main fire. Not only that, but you have a secondary fire, which is essentially your main fire, but it blows up even like with depending on how many enemies it hits. So it's essentially a broadside of Dredge on steroids. Then not only that, but you also have the Halo bombs that cannot be destroyed and creates knockback, a little bit every time you pass by. So you're doing a dash, it will completely disrupt your movement. You will lose all air control. Then she also creates knockback with her jumps. I think was that changed? I don't remember, but either way, not only she does damage with that, but she also is knocking people off. Like she has a good movement compared to Dredge. She even has more movement. Then her bomb can be the most, like her ultimate can be the most seriously, nobody's expecting it. It could be the most unexpected thing in the game, right? You just toss a bomb right around the corner, you can't even see it, and the next thing you know, you're dead. Not only that, but they also just gave her talent to boost every single little bit of damage she has. And it doesn't even just work as an amplifying of damage, it works as a little bit of a wall hack, because if people get, you know, they're burning up due to this goddamn talent, due to this position, they're burning up for 1.5 seconds, and if they're moving into the right or to the left, you know where they're going to, so they can just spam in that general direction. It's literally the most obnoxious thing ever. This champion, if I had the option to delete it, I would instantly press that delete button without even second thought. Now let's go on to third champion, Moji. Now, I know a lot of people like Moji, but you see that how many people play Moji, right? Like there's almost nobody that plays Moji. Now Moji for me is like this massive glass cannon that sometimes it doesn't even work depending on map. Sometimes it doesn't even work depending on the enemy team. So it's like, it's not only a glass cannon, but it's a very bad glass cannon. And when it's not being, you know, bad, it could be the most obnoxious thing ever. Like it's just popping off 1000 damage shot because you shot her magic barrier by accident, or because she managed to get that full mark on you when you weren't looking. I'm sorry, I love J-Flare, but man, you suggesting that she had to do 1000 damage per shot and only do max extra damage at 8, 9, 10 marks, pieces of the mark? No. All right, I'm sorry, but no. I really wish that they actually went through with her rework and make her a healer, because sometimes I actually prefer to go around and just leave the little healing pools around on people, and it was fantastic. And Moji can be really good in the right hands, but you see how many people play her, all right? Not only is she obnoxious, I can tell you that there's people up to this day that don't know that you can do 1000 damage a shot if you get people with your left click when they have a star. All right, I've talked to people countless times about this. It's actually sad. So just make her go back to what she was, 750 damage, and every little piece of the star gets extra damage, all right? All right, just let it be like that. Don't put it at max, because sometimes, you know, newbies, sometimes people on controller are gonna have to desperately shoot that left click, and then they don't get any extra damage whatsoever, because it's just garbage. You know, like they have to have max pieces of stars. And I'm sorry, maybe just sometimes you don't have chance for that, okay? Not only that, but her dragon skin, my lord, the spray on the skin is the most obnoxious thing ever. Holy crap. Not only that, but this skin is absolutely bugged, might I add. If you do the magic barrier with the hands, you'll see that it's all buggy and stuff. So yeah, I would delete Moji 100%. No more confusion, and this champion is not really even worth it sometimes. So, on to the next one, Kasumi. Now, why would I talk about Kasumi, and why would I talk about deleting Kasumi? I would delete her but relaunch her if I had the chance. I've done a video recently about how Kasumi's trash. And I appreciate the idea of her voodoo doll. And I had comments, people saying that it was unique and just let it be. And I'm like, okay, sure. But at the same time, man, it's a first-person shooter. This type of weapon doesn't work well on a game like this. It's just, okay, just change it. Just put a mini sights on it. Like it was meant to be from the start. Like it was supposed to be, right? Or just her tossing nails and having the doll for her right click or something. Just please. Like this champion right now is so bad that if I see one in my team, I might as well just consider, you know, reporting her, because holy crap, man. It's really bad. I don't even need to explain this. All right, and for my 5th place here, I am a bit torn because I got at least like 3 choices that I would put in there. So instead of giving you my final answer, I'll let you guys decide for me. So I'll tell you the 3 champions that I'm thinking of, and the ones that, you know, answering to the question that I said at the start of the video of your top 5 champions to delete. The one with the most votes on the comment section will be the 5th champion. All right, how about that? It's a little bit of an interactive game with the video itself. So I'm gonna give you the 3 names and small little explanations. And the first one is Yaggorath. Yaggorath, for me, is the type of champion that doesn't really feel like belongs in this game. All right, from part where like she's standing still being an old sponge to parts that you can't even use a mount like the rest of the champions. You can't even be dismounted. Being blocked by turrets and clones from moving and just having the weirdest interactions. Sometimes your ultimate will be the most buggiest thing ever. Not to mention you can eat everybody in the game except for another Yaggorath, which is just ridiculous. And competitive means that you can literally eat any single champion because there will never be another Yaggorath. Okay? Not to mention you can't be transformed into a chicken apparently. You just get stunned. Or a cookie. Like this champion comes out with a bunch of specific features only to her, having 40% plus the R on standing form, can't even move. I've suggested, for example, of her moving at least at 25% movement speed. They never really cared. I guess this is the way that Yago was meant to be, and whatever. But one thing is certain, I doesn't feel like she belongs in Paladins, and I would definitely delete her. But my second choice would be 7. The reason for 7... Now, 7 is actually a good champion. I'm not gonna lie, he's actually good. But the first thing I hate about him, for example, is his main weapon. I'm sorry, I love Hyris and I love their designs, but new champions coming up with multiple modes on their weapons, it is the most obnoxious thing ever. Okay? I'm sorry. Like, Omen just came out with these double, like, slow shooting... close pallets, and then wide open with fast shooting. Just give it one single thing, like just one single weapon, and that's it, right? I hate the entire rotating modes, and like right now nobody plays the entire Magdom because it's so garbage right now. People stopped playing 7, by the way. Only a couple of heroes will play 7. To be perfectly honest, I think his hook belongs in Sky's kit. I would literally remove an ability from Sky and give her the hook that 7 has. Just one hook, not 2. Just one hook. Then, second of all, another thing that doesn't even make sense. I play, you know, I've been playing Vora for quite a while. I'm level 360 plus. And she does a biological hook with her darkness, which means that, you know, similar to like Venom, she could sort of have some quite good range. And it's fine that it's slower, but how does this hook go so far compared to her Vora? Like, when did it decide that? Like, why? Then the entire bombs drama of like planting the bombs and being knocked backy and couldn't be destroyed, and they still be annoying up to this day. Him having almost infinite mobility, like it completely breaks the game if there's not a single counter to this champion. Right? A fear that can work if you just look at people, and it's way better than Maldamba's. I would definitely delete this champion. and I would use some of this stuff into other champions. I mean, even his goddamn explosive dodge is Cassie's dodge, but just with bombs. He just poops bombs at the end of the dodge, man. Are you serious? It's like they grab a bunch of scraps from here and there and just put them all together and create a 7 scraps all together, I guess. But yeah, I would definitely delete him and use some of his scraps, onto other champions. And finally, that third, well, in this case, should be like 7 champions, right? I gave 4 and then I'm giving other 3. The final pick, and the one that I would love to see if anybody is going to mention, would definitely have to be Ray. Now, first of all, Ray has one thing that I hate absolutely, but I mean, I guess I understand the logic. You can't even switch weapons. It's so annoying. Same thing goes with Yagurath, by the way. But not that. Like, first of all, she can link into invisible targets. She has no damage drop-off. Her ultimate is better than the Fernando ultimate in certain cases. She has massive amounts of DR, which is just absolutely insane. And her passive actually works on your horse? Like, if you go to Brightsmarsh and you go over to that little area, you go into the roof, you have to do like this, you know, this entire wave of movement to get on top of there. Guess what? With Ray, you don't have to worry. Just walk up to a wall, jump while you're on the horse, and there you go. In fact, so much so that Ray is the only champion in the entire game that without any like wall climbing or dashes or anything can just casually walk up to the walls of the spawn of the Brightsmarsh and jump and get on top of it. You go into the sides, which is a bit like lower, and you can just jump in there. Then the entire, like I said, the entire DR, her ult coming in clutch, almost like a second life of Atlas. She can 1v1 almost any single champion in this game. It's absolutely ridiculous. Her focus, by the way, I need to test this out because I feel like this is absolutely BS. Her focus supposedly triples the effects, right? And the effect, if you go to advanced, when she links into an enemy, it reduces by 10% their movement. Now, this apparently reduces up to 30% with the focus, but it seems like way more. I challenge a developer to please test these numbers and tell me that it's actually 30%, because I sure as heck ain't believing that. I will not believe that. Not only she does damage with her link, she does damage with her main weapon that doesn't have no drop off, no range drop off, and then she even does damage with envelop while reducing her damage all the way down to 275 max damage per bullet. Only things that are effective against this is like maybe an LMG or an SMG like Koga's, etc. They can shoot below this number so that they don't have to lower, you know, they don't have to worry about it. But guess what? She gets speed, she gets height. Not only that, if you're linked to your allies, you give them this as well. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. You gain 100% damage reduction on her ultimate and heals through everything. Cauterize can't stop this healing. I think Dead Zone can't stop it. Nothing can stop this healing. That best counter you got against this is an Atlas, because this is the only way you can reverse the healing that she has done to an ally. And guess what? There's a bug currently in this game that if you link to a Fernando while he's ulting and you ult at the same time, you know how his limit is 1500 HP? You know? If we go, like, let me just explain this. If you go to Fernando and you go to his ultimate, it says that you cannot go below 1500 HP. Well, guess what? His entire HP is 4600. Now imagine what is 75% of that, because that's what happens. Link into a Fernando that is ulting and you ult at the same time, and you'll see the little bar that shows the limit of how max HP you can remove from him. It will go higher, meaning that his ultimate is now twice effective, twice the you know, much more effective. Now you can wait for it to be over and just ult on top, but just the fact that he will stay alive for sure after his ult is over, right? While maintaining immortality around him for every single one of his allies. Yeah, and then let's not even just mention the final little step of Ray, which is cards like, for example, this. They can go all the way to 20% DR on people that she links to. Or this here, for example, which will bouncing around will grant you 5% damage reduction for bounce. You can bounce it to up 2 to 3 times. And if there's even secrets that I think they still work, where you can actually send multiple different heals and actually get this to stack even further. But it's 2 seconds, so it's not really worth it. This is a bit better. But guess what? This champion, not only it grants 1% ult charge per second while linking to an ally, but you have a card that also grants ult charge per bounce as well. So, ult battery, by the way, fantastic. Then granting reload speed to people. Reload speed that could, for example, help a lot of good Dredge players, by the way. Like, there's just cards in here that are absolutely ridiculous that this character has. And it definitely be a champion that I would delete. Maybe keep her model and whatever, just grab it as a skin for IO. But one thing is certain, I would definitely delete this champion. But again, the last 3 champions I mentioned were Yagurath, Seven, and Ray. I will be leaving up to you guys on the comments down below to tell me which ones you would delete. The ones from these 3 that get the most votes, you already know it, will be the one that would be the number 5th on my list. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. And until then, wonderful time. Bye-bye.